What's up, everyone? John Evans here, and in this video we're going to talk about, do squats make you faster? There's a lot of talk, and the industry for a lot of years in sports performance has been pretty much dominated by this concept of got to get stronger to get faster. There is truth to that. There's quite a lot of truth in that. For younger athletes, sometimes that's a barrier to entry. Newer, beginner-based athletes that are looking to get faster. Yeah, a lot of times the biggest bang for your buck is going to, build up strength all around. They've actually shown correlations between bench press strength and speed, but by and large, we're sprinting with these legs. So squats are what is commonly associated with getting athletes faster, better time, speed development training. There is some effort that should be played obviously into things like the deadlift, but squats are by far and away the most studied exercise in relation to their ability to get athletes faster. So the short answer would be, yeah, after saying all that, yes, squats will get you faster, but to a point. So, when they assess some of the better sprint times that we've seen, most of those athletes are able to squat at least 2 times their body weight. But not all of them, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that to be considered fast. Fast for your sport's going to be relative. Every sport's different. They all have different requirements. What's fast in American football is going to be a little different than what's fast in, say, soccer. Now, fast is fast. I'm not going to dispute that. Speed is speed. It always kills. But ultimately, when we look at the profile of these athletes, you'll see different attributes depending on the requirements of the sport, right? That's pretty obvious. So how much you would need to squat to see that speed increase will depend on your sport too. It's important to keep that in mind. But ultimately, the argument I would probably make in this video is that squats are not the end-all be-all. Strength development is not the end-all be-all in terms of being able to display speed in your sport. Speed is a skill just like anything else, right? Catching a football, juggling soccer ball, being able to score goals, anything, dunking a basketball, they're all skills that have to be practiced. And speed is one of them, and in my opinion, it's the ultimate athletic skill, display of athleticism. It literally trickles down into every other athletic attribute, right? I mean, if we work on linear speed, we'll typically see improvements in change of direction and agility. We'll see improvements in strength. We'll see improvements in jumping ability, explosive ability, right? Sprinting is ultimately a very explosive exercise. So the trickle-down effect of simply doing something like working on linear speed, right? Straight line speed, 10 yards, 20 yards, however distance you want to work on. Obviously, we have to build up to those longer distances. Don't start with 100 meter. I can advise you on that. But to get better, to get faster, we have to practice, right? To display speed, you have to practice speed. So we need to work on timing, efficiency, posture, right? There's a posture and a pattern to this, right? To be able to sprint, it's broken down honestly into a lot of other different components of the right positions that we typically like to see, although we can have some variations outside of that, and the movements themselves, and there's technical drills and all these things that, in my opinion, a lot of athletes, especially younger athletes, need to be focusing on, right? Because the saying that I love is speed grows like a tree, right? Trees grow slow. So these improvements that we're trying to make are going to take time, and they're going to take a commitment for especially young athletes. So what I would say is, in terms of Googling this, Googling that, this workout, that workout, they're all great, but we need to make sure that we're consistently hitting and getting in that volume of sprint work every week. That's the only real way to get fast, right? I mean, look at a power lifter, for example. They can squat, some of them 700, 800, 900 plus pounds. But if I told them to go run 100 meter, I would imagine that they would have some issues, right? Probably pulled hamstring, probably not very fast. Why? Well, they have the strength, right? The squats build that strength, but that's just the base. That's the foundation. From there, we have to teach neural efficiency, patterns, posture, technique, the components of what that display of speed is going to require from them. And then we have to repetitively get in that volume, right? The nervous system is ultimately what is allowing you to sprint at these velocities. So we have to train the nervous system. We have to dose it in properly. You know, I recommend sprinting or getting in some semblance of speed work at least twice a week. I like to see that at least twice a week. If you're for some of the younger athletes whose nervous system is still developing, and we have these windows where we can really kind of push this high velocity without probably causing as much fatigue, I really like to see them either do some sort of microdose where within the warm-up component we're getting a sprint volume in almost on a daily basis, or at least give 2 to 3 solid speed sessions a week, right? Or sports performance sessions. There can be other things we work on, but I want to dose in speed multiple times for most of my athletes, right? I mean, there's different considerations as we get older and once we get to the high levels of performance, peak performance, and you know, where we have true off seasons and things of that. But ultimately, sure, yes, squats will get you faster, but to a point. And ultimately, the skill that we are trying to practice, right, of getting faster is sprinting at high velocity. So if you want to get faster, do more of that. Throw in some squats here and there, and you're going to be all good. But that's it. Talk to you guys next time.